This is part 2 of the video. So if you haven't watched part 1, then you have to watch part 1 first, but this is part 2. Okay, so where we left off at the end of part 1 was we had just completed the table at the top here for temperature. We had tested the lactase enzyme, how well it converted lactose into glucose and galactose at different temperatures. We tested it at 0, 20, 40, 60, and 80 degrees Celsius. And now we are going to test it at different pHs. The first pH I'm going to test it at is going to be a pH of 1. So here on the pH scale, remember it goes from 0 to 14. The lower the number, the more solution. So we're going to leave everything else the same. I'm going to put this at 40, actually at 25, which is where it started off at. Okay. And the pH is going to be 1, so temperature of 25 degrees Celsius, pH of 1, everything else is the same. Oops, sorry. Okay, then we're going to do 5 trials here. So here we go. 1, oh, you can see where this is going. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so again, remember from left to right is time. So this is on the left end we have 0 minutes, and on the right end we have 20 minutes. So over the span of 20 minutes, 0 glucose was made, because that's what bottom to top is. Bottom is 0 glucose made, top is 1,000 glucose made. And you can see the unit of measurement there. But as you can see, it's 0 all the way across. Okay. So here for a pH level of 1, trials 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all 0. And so the average is, of course, going to be 0. So now let's change it to 4 and do it again. Sorry, I always forget to reset before I do that. Okay. So here's trial 1 at a pH of 4, trial 2, trial 3, trial 4, and trial 5. Okay. So you can see a little bit of glucose was made after 20 minutes. So 0 minutes to 20 minutes. After 20 minutes here, a little bit of glucose was made. Let's see how much. So trial 1, 228. Trial 2, 234. Trial 3, 196. Trial 4, 238. And trial 5, 228. Okay, so you're going to put those numbers in here for trials 1 through 5, the numbers I just showed you, and then you're going to average that out. Okay. So now the next one we have to do is a pH of 7. So we did 1 and 4. Now we're going to change the pH to 7 and do it again. So the pH is already at 7. Run 1, or trial 1. It says run here, but I like to use the word trial. Trial 2, trial 3, trial 4, and trial 5. So let's see. All right, so after 20 minutes at a pH of 7, trial 1 produced 496 glucose. Trial 2, 493. Trial 3, 493. Trial 4, 490. Trial 5, 491. So you're going to put those numbers in here at a pH of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those numbers, and average it out here. Okay, now we're going to change the pH to 10 because that is the next one that we need to do according to our chart here. pH of 10. We're going to do it 5 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so trial 1 was 122, trial 2, 121, trial 3, 126, trial 4, 100, trial 5, 111. So those 5 numbers, plug those into these 5 spots for trials 1 through 5, a pH of 10, and then find the average and put the average here at the bottom. Now we got to do 13. Hit reset, change the pH to 13, and run it 5 times. 1, 2, well, looks like it's going to be zeros again. Okay, so I just did it 5 times, and just so we can say that we did, even though we already know. Oh, it's not exactly 0, but it's close. So trial 1 was 5.04, trial 2, 5.75, trial 3, 5.14, trial 4, 5.17, trial 5, 6.27. Okay, so that's how much glucose was made after 20 minutes. Not very much. So we're going to put that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Find the average. So now you should have a completed table. You should have all the temperature completed with the averages, and you should have all of the pH completed and their averages. And what you should see is that the highest for temperature and pH, the highest glucose production, or in other words, the highest lactase enzyme activity, should be at 40 degrees Celsius. And the highest pH activity should be at 7. Now, it's going to be up to you in class, you, the internet, and me, your teacher, or whoever your teacher is if you're watching this out in the world, to answer these following questions. And if you're out there in the world and you want access to these assignments, then I can share them with you. If you're a homeschool student, I can share them with you. But anyway, so answer the questions here. It's going to ask you what was the optimal temperature at which lactase enzyme performed, what was the average temperature of the human body, how does the temperature at which the lactase enzyme performs best compare to the average human body temperature. Same thing for pH. What was the best pH? What number is the closest to the average pH of the human body? And how does the pH at which the lactase enzyme performs best compare to the average human body pH? Then tell me why you think some people are lactose intolerant. Put your response into the Padlet. And then you're done.